Hey guys, what's growing? It's Heather at Bush Poppy Farm. Today we're going to, in between another day of in between rain showers, we are going to turn these containers from spring into summer. And we're going to start by removing all of these. These are daffodils, and normally I would let everything die back and, save these bulbs. But I have so many of these in the landscape, and in order to let all this die back, it would take another month at least. It looks awful. I just want to get this thing, ready to go. So what we're going to put in their place is I'm going to set up a couple of teepees, and I have two climbing vines here. One of them is Cardinal Climber. It's an Ipomea. And the other here is Moonflower. So red and white. And they'll climb up these teepees. They'll probably expand much taller than the teepees, but it'll give them a great thing to climb on, and I think it'll look really nice in these pots. So the first thing I need to do is clean out the pots, and then I'm gonna add some compost, because even though I added compost in the fall, the squirrels have been digging in here and they've really dumped a lot of it out. It's kind of a mess. So I'm going to pull out these guys. Yeah, and there's just actually, it's possible that I won't be able to pull these out and that the tubers will stay super deep in here. All right, here we go. Yeah, and also the soil is extremely dry, even though we've had rain. So I'm going to scoop out the top layer, add some fresh compost that's nice and wet from the rain that we've been having. It's also basically a big mat. Yeah, definitely needs more compost. Oof, so dry. Yeah, look, this just giant chunk. That's old. All right, so that's gonna get a whole bucket full of compost. You can see how dusty it is. Apparently underneath this eave, it gets no rain at all. Yeah, just one big giant block. All right. This doesn't need as much. Oh, well, actually, I'm gonna toss this big chunk because this is from last summer and it's mostly just roots. So, all right, this will go to the compost bin, and I'll go get fresh compost. Okay, so Cardinal Climber and Moonflower planted. Hopefully they will take off very well in here. I am going to water real quick, since even though the compost is wet, I want them to settle in. I want to get rid of the air bubbles in these containers. And any more rain we get today is not actually going to impact these pots. So I'm going to go on and do that now. Very, very soon I need to clear out these containers and put something new in there for summer. They look awful. They're just done, which is fine because we got a really nice show, but done, and looking awful. So going to put that on the to-do list for hopefully next week, but that list is getting real long, so we shall see. Next, however, I'm going to go to the front garden and plant up some of these squashes because they're getting big in their 6-packs. And it's actually a really, when it's cloudy, overcast like this and the temperatures are just kind of mild. I think it's 62 degrees Fahrenheit maybe. It's a great time to plant because it's not going to be a shock on the seedlings. They're not going to have to fight sunburn. They'll have many hours to settle in before weather gets harsh again. So yeah, it's actually a really good time to plant. So I have some plans for these, which are interesting plans. I don't know if it's going to be a success or a failure, but I'm going to try it anyway. So let's go up front. Okay, so this is, for the most part, a fruit tree bed, a mini orchard here. I have some corn planted up here, which it looks like the birds have gotten some of. And there's 2 rosemaries on the front here. These are flowers that will, once they bloom, will get pulled out. I think they're scabiosa and maybe starflower. So they're not going to be there for very long. But where I plan to put these squash is actually on either side, about a foot apart of these fruit trees. So I'll put one like here, in between here, and so on. And my rationale behind that is, one, it's basically open bed space. These fruit trees are not going to get big enough to do a whole lot this year, and I don't want to waste bed space. 2, once the foliage on the squashes starts to fill out, it'll provide shade for the roots of these fruit trees and help them get through their first summer, because we generally get temperatures into the triple digits, 101, 102, sometimes up to 110 in the summertime. And for brand new trees that don't have a fully established root system yet, that can be really challenging. So so I'm going to go on and do that. They'll either work or they won't. And the good news is with squashes, they like to sprawl, and they'll have plenty of room on either side in order to do that. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll see how it goes. I think I have, let's see what we've got. Okay, so right here we have, actually this is not all squashes. This is a Moon and Stars melon, which I've been wanting to grow for years. So I really hope this works out. This is Lumina pumpkins, so the little white pumpkins, which I love. And this is, I have, two festival acorn and 1 harvest moon squash. So let's find some spots for them. Okie dokie. Planted, I've got a Harvest Moon squash right here. That's a festival acorn down there. Here I have a Lumina pumpkin. Same thing right here. And then up here we have Moon and Stars melon, and same right here. I think they'll actually be happy here. They're going to get consistent moisture and a good amount of sun. It's raining again, and I took the camera in undercover, but I did some more work out there planting some tomatoes in random places. It's kind of freeing to do this kind of gardening. I've never done this before. I've always been very regimented in where I put things. But I have really big tomato seedlings that I want to get out, so we'll see what happens. And I have so many of them that some of them are going to be fine. Okay, I am very wet, very cold. It's time to go in. Tomorrow, I'm getting up early to go to the wholesaler to get some of the flowers that I need for this weekend's weddings, because some of them I don't grow. So that's gonna be super early. And then I will be spending the day making bridal bouquets, bridesmaids bouquets, boutonnieres, bud vases, mason jar arrangements, and medium-sized centerpieces, as well as a garland for a sign. And then also harvesting ivy for the floral arch that I'm going to be doing on Saturday. So lots to film. It won't be gardening per se, but it will be flower arranging and working with some things that I don't normally work with. So we'll see how that goes. So join me for that. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.